Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest questions out there, this epic tug of war between people and the planet. Who's really calling the shots? So let's start with this. Does where you live actually decide who you are? I mean, is your culture, your society, even your personality just a direct result of the place you grew up? It's a question that geographers have been debating for centuries. And trust me, this is not just some dusty old academic argument. It is a really powerful debate with two totally opposite ways of looking at the world, and they've been clashing for a long, long time. So, in one corner, you've got determinism, the idea that nature basically writes our destiny for us. And in the other corner, you have possibilism, which says, hold on a minute, human creativity is the real powerhouse here. Let's break them both down. All right, first up, let's look at the argument for Team Nature. This is the school of thought that says the environment is absolutely 100% in charge. So this idea, environmental determinism, was a huge deal, especially with German geographers way back in the 18th and 19th centuries. They basically argued that everything, from how we behave to how advanced our society becomes, was all decided by the climate and the land we were born into. People like Friedrich Ratzel, who's often called the father of modern political geography, and his American student, Ellen Churchill Semple, were the real champions of this view. They built this incredibly strong case for nature's absolute rule over humanity. And this quote from Semple, it just perfectly sums up the whole philosophy. It's not just that the Earth influences us, it's that we are fundamentally made by it. We're a product of the soil, the climate, the whole shebang. So yeah, the main takeaway here is that determinists saw the environment as our master, and Ellsworth Huntington took it even further. He actually argued that the world's greatest civilizations could only have sprung up in these temperate, stimulating climates. He thought tropical regions, well, they were just destined for less. Okay, so now let's flip the script and look at the counter-argument, because it paints a completely different picture. In the early 20th century, a new idea started bubbling up, mostly out of France, to challenge all of this head-on. And they called it possibilism. The core idea is actually pretty simple, but it was revolutionary. It says the environment doesn't write our destiny, it just offers a menu of possibilities. Nature might set the stage, but it's humans who choose which play to perform. And this quote from the French geographer Vidal de la Blache just nails the difference, doesn't it? The whole idea of nature as a master is gone. Here, nature's just an advisor. It gives suggestions, but the final call, that's on us. And possibilists had examples everywhere they looked. I mean, we took wheat, a plant from the Mediterranean, and now we grow it all over the world. We literally carved farms into the sides of steep mountains. And of course, with things like heating and air conditioning, we can completely ignore the local climate and create our own little perfect temperature bubbles. So who's right? Is nature the ultimate puppet master? Or are we? Well, like with a lot of these big debates, the modern answer isn't about picking a side. It's about finding a much smarter path right down the middle. This middle path is often called neo-determinism. A geographer named Griffith Taylor came up with this really brilliant compromise. He said, look, we aren't slaves to the environment, but we're not its masters either. Think of it more like a partnership, but a partnership with some very, very important ground rules. Taylor's analogy for this is just perfect. It's like a traffic light. Nature gives us the green light, right? It presents a plan, a path forward for us to develop. We have the freedom to decide the pace. We can speed up or slow down. That's the amber light. But if we ignore nature's fundamental limits, we hit a hard red light, an environmental stop sign that we simply cannot blow through. And this table shows neo-determinism in action perfectly. It's not about conquering the environment, it's about creatively adapting within its limits. So in the tundra, people use the ice itself to build homes and animal fat for heat. In the Kalahari Desert, they use animal products for clothing and even as a lotion to protect them from the sun. Each culture finds these amazing, ingenious solutions based on the cards their environment has dealt them. So at the end of the day, it's not a simple question of who controls whom. It's a dynamic, two-way street, a constant dance. The environment shapes us, and we turn around and shape it right back. It's this continuous interplay of action, reaction, and adaptation. Which, of course, leaves us with a massive question for our own time. As our technology gets more and more powerful, is this delicate balance starting to shift? Are we learning to be better partners with nature, to respect those red lights? Or are we just putting the pedal to the metal, thinking we can somehow outrun the consequences? That's something to think about. And that's all for this explainer.